So I'm just kind of testing. You guys can all hear me? Yes, you can just raise your hand. That way I know we're good. Okay. All right. I think we're good. Am I recording live? Yes. Yes, we're good. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Good afternoon. And thank you so much for joining my How to Get Your First Multifamily Investment weekly call. My name is Annabelle Pacheco. I am a real estate broker and an investor. I have been in business for 24 years, and I'm part of a global real estate company called eXp Realty. And really the goal for this weekly call that I do is to just share with you guys the steps that I took to purchase my first multifamily deal, bring guest speakers from the multifamily space to share with us, and so that we can expand our knowledge and really just give you guys enough tools and information for you guys to go out there and do this for yourselves. I encourage everyone to participate, ask questions, use this platform to share information with each other and just learn from each other. This is a safe place. Nobody's here to judge. I mean, I'm just sharing my story, the things that I've done, the things that have worked, and in hopes that, you guys can also really just take from there and do what you need to do. I'm not selling anything. I'm not offering anyone anything. I'm not a financial advisor by any means. I'm just sharing my story with everyone today. Okay. Just a little information about myself. I started in the mortgage industry back in the mid 90s. Did a lot of FHA conventional residential loans. And during that time, the real estate market was also very, very good. And I was involved in the rehabbing and flipping of properties, and have done probably over 100 properties throughout my career. We did a single family. We did 2 to 4 units at that time. We did keep 2 to 4 units properties at that time and managed them, and was just constantly in the rehab and flip business. In 2001, real estate changed a bit. It was a little harder to find deals, and we decided to venture off, build a 150 capacity restaurant from ground up. Had a staff of over 15 people, including managers, chefs, and servers, and did that for a good 8 years. And then was really happy to hand over the key to the next owner, because that definitely was a very, very sacrificed business. It was great, made some incredible connections, and probably made more money from the connections that I made and the side businesses that I was able to do because of just having the platform there of the restaurant. But just a very sacrificed business, holidays and weekends, and I wanted to be with my family, and there's nothing better than real estate where you really can make that time and you can pick the days you want to work. So last 10 years of my business have been focused 100% in just representing clients in both the residential and commercial real estate. And I purchased my first multifamily deal in 2015. It was 34 units in Grand Prairie, Texas. What happened in 2014, 2013 is that I was just kind of tired already of this just flipping, right? Like you fix and flip, you get this cash and you go out there and do it again. And I thought, we're just looking for a way to create cash flow, generational wealth, and what better than multifamily? And I'll share with you guys, these are the reasons why I invested in multifamily, and I hope it inspires you guys to do the same thing. So number one, we were looking for cash flow. And cash flow, just very simple, is just your rental income minus all your expenses, right? We wanted a property that gave us X amount of money on a monthly basis. Number two, we realized, okay, with multifamily, how cool that you're collecting rent and that this money is actually, I mean, your tenants are actually paying down your loan, right? So that was number two. Number three, it was the opportunity of now having a property that would appreciate over the long run. Never did I think that I'm buying, my property. I was buying my property today so that in a year I would become a millionaire. It doesn't happen that fast, and it just takes time. But you know what? When you do the right investigations and you study the market and you know where you're investing, that can happen. And I'll share with you guys on the next slide exactly what happened to me. And then number four was the tax benefits, right? Depreciation, which allows you to expense a portion of the physical structure each year, and the 1031 exchange, which allows you to defer that capital gain tax, and there's no limit to how many times you can do this. And I will explain today. We're going to talk a little bit more about 1031 exchange. All right, so I purchased in 2015 what we call a value add multifamily property. Okay, do you guys know on this call what a value add multifamily property means? Kind of want to get an idea where we're at, or like, what do you guys know about the value add? You can put it in the chat. You can unmute yourselves and just let me know where you're at. Anybody? Anybody want to talk? No? Are you guys going to have me talk the whole time? Okay. So value add is an opportunity where you have a property that's maybe not the best property in the neighborhood. It's got some good opportunity there if you renovate it and you increase the rent. Okay. And that's really what a lot of investors are looking for when they're purchasing these multifamily properties, right? They want that opportunity that if you go in there, you improve it, you increase its rent, you now are creating, right, additional value to this property. And we purchased this property in 2015 for $850,000. This was 34 doors for $850 in Grand Prairie, Texas. Now, when I contacted the agent, the property was actually on LoopNet. I happened to be out in Dallas at that time. This property, I find it on LoopNet. I call the agent, happened to be the owner of the property, and I was a buyer who happened to be an agent myself. And so we pretty much connected. We negotiated. We really didn't need representation, and I asked the seller, hey, would you be willing to sell or finance and carry a note for 2 years, allowing me to fix up the property, and then I can refinance, and you know what, we pay you off. And he agreed. And it was just a really simple, it was wonderful because it was simple. I was ready to go for the financial part, the financing part of the multifamily. And I'd spoken to lenders, and I was getting ready to do that. But, there was a part of me that kind of just felt like, man, maybe I'm not gonna get it approved, or it's gonna get so hard. And this just seemed like the perfect way for me to get in there. And so we did. And in those 2 years, we went in full blown because we were ready and prepared. We had the money. Went in there and started improving. We started remodeling. Obviously, you respect whatever tenants' contracts are. If a lot of them were a month to month, so we gave everybody 30-day notice. And within 30 days, we had probably a good 10 units vacated, and we went to work. Started remodeling, did everything we needed to do to get those properties pretty much to like market standards, because it was really this property needed a lot of work. And so we just started increasing rents. And by year 2, when we refinanced, the property had already appraised at almost double, so $1.6 million, right? And that's right there. That is the beauty of multifamily and value add. So that was by year 2, we were at 1.6. If you continue to improve on the property, if you continue to increase the rents, the value of your property will continue to rise. And so we refinanced. We were able to get, I think, like all our money back pretty much. I mean, we probably got $1 million loan. We were still at a good 65% loan to value, have zero of our own money invested in this property. And today, the value of this property is $2.8 million. Okay. Is there room for improvement? Probably 100%. You know what? Continue to maybe remodel units now to another standard and start, possibly changing appliances, certain things that can that can allow or give you that opportunity to increase the rents, and that people are okay paying. Any questions so far with all of this that I've said? You guys got it? So here are the 24 units, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. And then here's the front building, 10 units, 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bath. These are more like townhome style. They each have a little patio in the back. All right, so today I want to talk to you guys about 1031 exchange. I currently am experiencing this and going through this, and I thought it would just be really great for you guys to hear a little bit more about how the 1031 exchange works. And it really allows investors to defer the tax liability on the sale of an investment property by using the sales proceeds to acquire another property, right? So you cannot touch any of those proceeds. Those proceeds do not come to you, because if they come to you, you will be taxed. The 1031 exchange is very popular for investors who want to actually upgrade to larger investment properties without having to take a hit when they sell the smaller property, right? And it's also super important that this is a strategy that if the investor wants to sell a property that's located in one market, to buy a property located elsewhere, that you can actually do this with the 1031 exchange. So there's a lot of flexibility or opportunities there. Then this part here, where taxes can be deferred indefinitely as long as there is no monetary benefit. Like you just can't receive the money at all. So you can defer this indefinitely. We can do, you can sell today, buy a property, tomorrow, and in maybe a year, if you happen to find another property, you can exchange into that property. And always looking. And I think going through it now, one of the things that you could be doing is always be looking for that opportunity. Once you find it, try to secure it, and then do your sale, so that way your 1031, you already know exactly where it's going. So if you complete a 1031 exchange, you hold that property for several years, sell it, you buy another property, and then you can continue to use this method to avoid taxes. Okay, so in other words, you're never going to cash out. You can just defer taxes forever. Now, I'll tell you, me personally, I was considering taking the hit on the sale of my property, and you know what, just taking the hit and kind of dealing with having my CPA deal with that afterwards, because if you guys have been following how the real estate market is right now, it's really tough, right? Properties are expensive. They are definitely high. And I bought at a really good time where there was very good, significant depreciation. And I kind of feel like, I don't know, maybe right now I may not have that same opportunity to grow my capital. So I don't know. It's just, I mean, I'm just kind of throwing it out there. I was indecisive, but then you know what? After doing the numbers, it was about 200 grand that I was going to pay in taxes. I thought, you know what? I'll just do a 1031 exchange, hustle. I have 45 days to identify a property, and I'm looking everywhere, all over the place, to identify that to save 200,000, right? And not just lose 200,000. Any questions? We good? Yeah. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of reasons why you should use a 1031 exchange. And I'll just kind of, you'll see here in the bold, to reset depreciation. Okay. So the IRS actually recognizes that real estate assets, especially residential real estate, they wear down over time. So what they do is that they will allow, I mean, and you got to consider, you have to take into consideration that with rental income, right? Investors will claim depreciation on the expenses and they get deductions. Now, if you decide to sell your rental property, you would have to recapture the depreciation and pay taxes on it. And this usually comes up to about 25%. So with a 1031 exchange, the depreciation is just carried over into that replacement property and it's deferred until a taxable sale of that replacement property occurs. So really, I mean, it's giving you the opportunity to just roll it over, right? It's going to give you, you're free now for more capital. So your tax savings means more buying power available to you to invest in other assets. And you can leverage your cash and get more expensive or high value replacement using these proceeds. And really, I mean, just kind of give you guys what I'm experiencing, right? I now have a considerable amount of money that I need to exchange. So I can now look at maybe a double of what I'm selling my building, or a little over double, right? Because I now have all this capital available that I'm just going to roll it over. I'm not going to pay any taxes on it. I'm just going to roll it over into this next property. So it really is, I mean, it's a fantastic opportunity that we have. And if you really study and understand the 1031 exchange, this is where a lot of people make a lot of money, right? Because they're saving it. They're not just paying it. So yeah, one part of me wanted to kind of go the easy route and say, you know what, let's just pay. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to be pressured. I have to pick something. But then really you start doing the numbers, and $200,000 is a lot of money. And there's no reason to just give it up like that. The other part is that it's also for portfolio diversification and expansion. And this right here, just, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, right? You want to make sure that you're able to diversify and just kind of put things in, invest your money in different things that will be beneficial for you. And so one of the things that this allows you to do is exactly that. So I can now go out and buy, you know, I can either go out and buy, if you stick to multifamily, I think only my experience is that it's great, because if 1 or 2 or 3 doors don't pay, you still have another 15, 20 or 30 doors that are paying. So it's great. But if you have, let's say you have a commercial property and it's a single tenant, and that's tenant for some reason his lease is up and you now can't lease this commercial property out, you're now stuck because there isn't another tenant that's going to continue to making that payment. And this is where you want to use these opportunities, right? A 1031 exchange to get yourself into something that kind of diversifies your capital. Okay. The other thing is to consolidate properties. Maybe you have too many small properties, in different places, and it's costing you more money to maintain, because it does when you have, let's say you have 4 units, in one place, and you have another 2 units over here, and they're not all in like the same street or the same block, but they're all in different areas. This also, sometimes may not be as cost efficient as you think. So this 1031 exchange gives you an opportunity to, okay, let's sell all of these and let's consolidate and let's buy one nice big property where now you can manage it, and really it's much more efficient. The cost of maintaining it and just managing it is a lot. I mean, you will see the difference. You will definitely see the difference. And here you can also even hire a property manager, right, to help you with it. The other important thing is that you can increase your cash flow and income. So aside from just building wealth through capital appreciation, which is what we're all looking for, owning a property with positive cash flow is also a great way for you guys to grow your money quickly. And I can definitely attest to this. Finding a property that can cash flow, even if it's cash flowing low at a low point, but it's still cash flowing. And while you are improving it and you are increasing its value and you are increasing its cash flow, the property is also appreciating its, just the capital itself is appreciating. You can exchange the property that generates no income. I mean, there are many people out there that have vacant land for commercial building or for rental property that gives you a monthly income and positive cash flow. So the 1031 exchange is a great tool to really consider when you have a property that may not be performing, to its best, and you may want to change it, right, into something that gives you some sort of cash flow, and possibly maybe it's in a better area and you can appreciate with time. Now, tax-free transfers of assets and profits to your beneficiaries. This is something super, super incredible. So this is the only time, and the only time that you will pay deferred taxes is when you sell, correct? Now, if an investor chooses to hold on to this replacement property for a long time, in the event of death, that deferred tax is erased when the profits and the property are transferred to the beneficiary, which actually makes this strategy a great way to build multi-general wealth. This is what everybody talks about. This is exactly why a lot of people own multifamily and very wealthy they're very wealthy because they know how to use this properly. They are taking advantage of the appreciation, and they are they're just rolling it into other properties, letting it grow, and here you go. If, let's say, in the event of death, that deferred tax, is erased when the profits of the property are transferred to the beneficiary. So, just incredible stuff, really, with the 1031 exchange. Now, these are some important things that you need to know about the 1031 exchange. It is what qualifies as a like-kind property, right? And really here, the key to this 1031 exchange is that you want to prove that the relinquished and the replaced properties, right, the one that you're selling and the one that you're buying, are now both for investment. You cannot buy for your own personal use, and you cannot buy to actually flip a property. That's not allowed on the 1031 exchange. Now, this is what the IRS refers to, okay, as like-kind properties. And you can sell a commercial building, replace it with rental property, or you can exchange vacant land for a duplex or 3 units or 4 units. An improvement or a build-to-suit exchange is another type of exchange that actually allows you to use the proceeds from that sale of your property to construct something new or renovate the property that you plan on buying. Okay. And then, oops, sorry, we'll go back here. Reverse exchange are also possible. I don't know if you guys have heard of the reverse exchange. But the reverse exchange, this is when the replacement property is actually purchased prior to you actually selling the one that you have to, the property that you have to 1031. Has anyone ever been involved in a reverse exchange? No? Okay. I mean, I've represented clients that have done the reverse exchange, and pretty simple process. You know, you buy the property, but you do have to pay. I think the fees are a little bit higher. You do pay fees that are higher, but you know what? It guarantees that you've found that property, and then it's just a matter of time when you sell the other property, and then you just transfer over the funds. All right. Another important thing you guys need to know about the 1031 exchange is the role of the qualified intermediaries. Okay. So because this transaction is an exchange, you cannot handle any of the cash proceeds. You will see on your settlement statement that all the funds are going to this exchange company. If for whatever reason you do want some cash out, then that amount, whatever amount it is that you request, let's say it's 100,000, and that's something that you will have to pay taxes on, right? You'll have to pay taxes on $100,000. And some people do that. You can do that, or you can choose to not touch a dime and just roll it all over. Then to complete a 1031 exchange, you need an IRS approved middleman called a qualified intermediary, QI. There are many companies out there that do it. The one that I'm familiar with is IPX. It's a pretty big company, and they're very knowledgeable. And it can be done fairly quick. You don't need months in advance to set up this 1031 exchange. I'd say a couple of weeks before you're ready to close. You can hire someone, and then they just connect with escrow, and escrow will provide all the information that they need, and then they'll send you the forms that you need to sign via DocuSign. Very simple. And then you basically make sure to specify if you're going to get any kind of money, right? You're going to specify on there, and then they will certify that to make sure that it's all documented. Let me just kind of go back here. IRS policies also state that it can't, okay, and this is important, that it can't be your children, parents, or anyone who works for you as an agent, including your lawyer, accountant, or real estate broker. Okay, those are not considered qualified in a QI. The QI sells your asset on your behalf and buys the replacement property and then transfers the deed to you. That's how this process works. Okay. Part of their responsibilities also include preparing all the legal documents and ensuring that everything complies with the IRS guidelines. So you want to make sure that whatever company you decide to work, they handle all of that. You don't have to worry about anything. And here's some timeline. Okay, 1031 exchange timelines, very important. So how does this work? You have 45 days to identify a property from the day your transaction actually closes. Okay. So if you close escrow today, starting tomorrow is day 1 of your 45 days. Then you have, oops, second. Then you have 180 days closing period. And this is, I'm sorry, I'm having problems here with my computer. $180-day closing period. And this is pretty much like, this is the deadline. You have to have like found your property and ready to close, have it all ready within 180 days. That means your 45 days are part of that 180 days. Okay, so it's not 45 days and then plus an additional 180 days. Okay, you guys all good on that? Clear on that? There's 3 property rules.
What happens if you go with 180 days?
Well, then you're liable. You didn't follow. You're liable for paying taxes. I mean, you have to. Whatever QI company you find, they'll make sure to let you know where you're at within that period. But you'll have to close before the 180 days. There are extensions, but honestly, William, I don't know after the 180 day how the additional extensions would work, because I'm only going through what I right now have been told and what I am doing myself. So my goal is to identify a property within the next 45 days and have to be closed within 180 days.
Hi, this is Lori. I have a quick question. I think you answered it, but I was driving and my phone went out. So as far as exchanging it, you're saying we have 180 days after we close on the property. We have 180 days from start to finish to locate a property, to close on it and everything. That's 180 days total. Is that correct?
It is, but what's very important to identify there is that you only have 45 days to identify the actual properties.
Okay.
So within 45 days, you can identify it's not as many properties as you want. I'm going to get to that in a bit, but you identify your properties within those 45 days. And then you start working on, okay, which one of these is, maybe you're going to buy 2 out of the 3, and that you just start working on your negotiations with those, right? 2 that you might be interested in closing. And then, okay. Yes, and then after those 45 days, we're now going into those, into the closing period.
Okay, gotcha. So we should technically have those properties, we should be moving toward a contract, getting everything on paper, preparing to close, correct?
Yeah, I mean, look, in all fairness, it all really depends on the market. If you find something, sometimes it takes a while to find that property. And I can tell you, I've been looking for a while. Now, obviously now I'm closing on my deal very soon. I'm now for me, it's like, okay, now we're game time. Every day I'm looking at properties, and every day I'm like, something will pop up in the next 45 days. And I have seen a couple of stuff, but have not secured anything yet, because I want to make sure I give myself enough time. So I think you want to give yourself just enough time to make sure you have identified some good properties, not just anything. right?
Okay.
Yeah. And then within those 45 days, then you can start doing your closing.
Got it. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So 3-property rule. You can identify 3 properties as potential replacement, regardless of the market value. And you can take just one, or you can buy all 3. And this is where you have to remember, this is the 3 rule is based on the 200% rule. So this lets you identify it's an unlimited number of replacement properties, as long as the cumulative value doesn't exceed 200% of the property being sold. So if I'm selling $2.8 million, what would be my 200% max amount that I cannot exceed? Anybody? Anybody?
Really?
Can anybody,
Probably like 2 or 3 years ago. Oh, really?
let's mute here. So,
Is it 4,
okay, go ahead.
is it 4 million?
It'd be 5.6. Just
Oh, okay.
double it. So 100% is, you know, I mean, if I'm selling it for 2.8, just double that, it'd be 5.6 total. So I can't identify, you know, an $8 million building, a $3 million building, and a $2 million building, because it's above the 200% rule. So it all depends. Everybody's number will be different. If it's, you know, if you have 100, right, your max would be 200,000. So just keep that in mind. It's the 200 rule, and it can be 3 properties. And then the 95% rule allows you to choose as many properties as you like, as long as you acquire the property's value at 95% of their total. So these here, I mean, this is complicated, and you're not going to get it all today, but you know what, just you're becoming immune to this new, you know, world, or just the language. And as you read it more and as you see it more, it starts making better sense. This is also, I mean, and again, I'm sharing with you guys things that I'm going through and that I think are, you know, it's just a learning curve, right? So to defer all capital gain, the next sale of the property that you buy must be of equal or greater value than the one you're selling. Okay. And if the replacement property is less value, the difference that isn't reinvested is what they call boot, and that's the taxable amount. So boot is considered the dollar amount that they will tax you on. And let me tell you, it took me about 3 or 4 times to get this, because I'd fill out the form and I still wouldn't get what boot meant. It didn't register. And I'd have to call back the exchange company and say, you know what, send that form again, because I did it wrong. Because they're saying, oh, so you want to take all the you want all the money. And I said, no, I don't want any of the money. I want you guys to keep the money. Okay, so then your boot is 0. And it was just like, it was just complicated. So I put an example here. So if you sell an apartment complex for $950,000, okay, you're doing a 1031 exchange for another property that costs $900,000. And there's a difference of $50,000, but you decide to keep that $50,000 as cash. You now have to pay capital gains on that $50,000. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Makes sense, yes,
Perfect. And then, you know, and then purchasing personal property or non-like kind property can also be done, complete the transaction, but it also qualifies as boot. So that means boot means it will be taxable. Okay, and then this here is also some of the fees and expenses that are incurred during the exchange. They can be paid, right, with the funds and that are included in this exchange fund. So this would be something like your filing fees, legal fees, finder fees, and broker commission. And it's important to note that it cannot be used, like it cannot be used for financing fees. You cannot, like property taxes, repair costs, or insurance premiums. If any of that money is used for any of these on the bottom, then you will get taxed. Okay, and one of the things that really makes investing in real estate super attractive is the number of valuable tax benefits and write-offs that are available. You know, I urge you guys to just connect to oh my gosh, I just I can't think of this word, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Please, someone.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Thank you. Thank you. I
You're
couldn't
welcome.
remember his name. He talks about this so much, you know, the investing. I mean, people invest in real estate because of that. Just the, you know, we're able, the tax benefits that are there. I mean, and if we don't educate ourselves and we don't learn about this, we're really losing and leaving a lot of money on the table. Okay, and so I urge you guys to just, you know, go out there, you know, get books, read on all of the tax benefits and the different ways of saving and just growing your capital. Knowing about this really helps. It'll help you in strategizing just better and to increase your ROI and really to build wealth. This is how, I mean, people that are making a lot of money are making it through real estate. And they know how to save, right? And just these write-offs are just incredible. And you know, it's important that we really understand this. And I'm only like, this is just like one little piece of, you know, so much more information that we need to learn. But believe me, it's a lot. I know I've given you guys a lot of stuff right now, and when you go through it, it just becomes so much more intense because you're actually living it and going through it. So I really urge you guys to continue to do some more investigations on 1031 exchanges and just the tax benefits of it. It's just, you know what, you're gaining extra leverage. You're gaining the opportunity to diversify, right? To increase your cash flow. And really the 1031 exchange is an excellent tool that all of you guys should take advantage. And I know I'm definitely taking advantage, and I really hope that you guys will too. So this is what I have. Let me take off my presentation here. Give me 1 second because I want to get some questions going here. But let's talk a little bit. Tell me, you know, where are you guys at? What are you guys doing? Or any of you guys looking to buy multifamily? Do you currently own multifamily? I mean, just, you know, this is just a really casual, open platform. Feel free to say anything.
Sure. So this is Lori Martin. I'm a licensed realtor with Keller Williams of 16 years, and I've been flipping and wholesaling for 5 years. We are just moving into the multifamily circuit of this whole thing. And we did it just because of what you mentioned earlier. Instead of just having a onesie twosie and, you know, one person's paying and one's not, or both of them are not paying, then we're stuck. So
right.
We're moving into that now. I have raised private money to purchase the property. So now we're just trying to identify them. Now I'm in Atlanta. So of course, well, the market's great everywhere, but in the areas of interest that we're interested in, which are the decent, really good school districts, very hard to find. And when you do find them, they're very expensive. So that's where we are right now, just actively looking for a multi-family unit that we can purchase.
So, one of my recommendations, that's great, Lori. And I mean, congratulations. Connect with a lot of different multi-family, meetings, Zoom meetings, just connect. And I tell you this again, from just my personal experience, when I purchased my apartment back 2015, I was, solo, all on my own. I was just kind of figuring things out. I had a mentor, but I was really just on my own. And then throughout the years and just being in the business and learning more, I have connected with so many people, and the opportunities are there. When the opportunity, there will always be opportunities. We just need to be out and just connecting with people in the space that we are interested in. And you know what? You'll meet someone, you'll connect. It's all about relationships. If they like you, you guys, you feel good, and they'll invite you to be a part of, maybe their deal, and or maybe they can't buy the deal. I mean, I've had opportunities where one partner needs to get out, and so they're looking for someone to come in, and they ask, they've come to me and ask if I'm interested. So it's incredible. But just continue to connect. I host this call every week, and I do bring in guest speakers. I bring in people that are doing syndications, right, and have amazing opportunities, and that I am also a part of, because I feel that it's a great way for you to learn the business as well, and two, you're now connecting with people at a different level, because you're now partners and you're now involved a little bit more, right? So, and I invite anyone. I mean, I will only invite people to join syndications if I'm part of the syndication. That is the way that I believe it would be the right way for me to do it, right? If I'm not I'm not investing any money, I don't want to bring anyone on board, because I don't know, right? I don't want to be a part of it. But if I'm putting money in and I say, I've done my investigation and I feel pretty good, hey, I invite people. But Lori, you just have to connect with a lot of people, talk to everybody, and believe me, a deal will pop up.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Great information.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions? Hey, Patricia. Thank you for joining.
Hi, sorry, I had my camera off because I was driving, and then I have a plumber here right now because my plumbing's all backed up throughout my house. So,
oh my goodness.
yeah. So
Not
I've
good.
been wanting to get on your call. It's just something's always coming up at this time, and then I think, oh, I'll watch the video later, but then that doesn't happen. So I'm glad I was able to at least join in today. I'm sorry I was late.
No worries. No worries. Well, hopefully you got some good nuggets there.
I did. And my sister and I, we're interested in also buying our first multifamily building. And, maybe you and I can talk after your call about the syndication and kind of get more information on that. If she's kind of ready to go now, I'm not really ready now. I'll probably be ready at the ending of the year. But, I think it's also, it's better when you have that type of setup where you're investing with multiple investors, because now you've got more people, you're using less money of yours, right, out of your pocket, but now it's like a group effort. You've got more investors involved. And so the risk is less with yourself because you're putting out less money.
Right. So, and again, it's, I think it depends on what your goals are, right? Originally, my goal was really not to be a part of any syndication. It was just for me to be on my own, do my own thing. And it worked out. We did well. But I believe now that it is very important, especially in this market, that if you can get yourself connected with some I mean, there's tons of syndications or syndicators right now. But really, I mean, you got to know them. It's got to be like a referral, right? You have to know who those operators are. It's a lot of money, right? That you just don't want to put into someone's bank that you really have no idea how they're going to operate. So that's why for me, I have a select group of people that I know in the multifamily and that I kind of, I would say I trust and that I would invest with. There's just too many, right? And so you're going to go with the ones that you trust and that, I've seen pretty much what they've done and they've done a really good job. And I feel comfortable bringing in other people because I'm invested as well.
Right.
So yeah, we can definitely discuss more about that. I think in 22, there's going to be some great opportunities. So we'll definitely connect. But any other questions? Let me see here. I got a message, copy of the slides. I believe so. Hey, Jess, can we get a copy of these slides out to everyone?
Yes, just email them to me after the call, Annabelle, and I'll make sure that people get them.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll make sure to include, you'll get a copy of today's meeting, and then I'll make sure that you guys get a copy of the slides as well for your information. Anyway, we are here again every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I appreciate everyone for joining. I hope you guys take some good little pieces of nugget and turn them into some serious gold out there. And I will see you guys next week. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My information, I believe you have on the event. If it's through event, you have it there. And oh, great, Lori, thank you. I will definitely, you'll get a copy. Everyone on this call will get a copy of the slides and recording of today's meeting. All righty. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Annabelle.
Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Great information.
All righty. Thanks. Good luck.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, take care. Yes.
There's a lot of things I'll talk to you about.
All right. You got it. Thanks. Take
Okay.
care. Hey, are you in New York or are you in Texas?
I'm in New York now.
Okay,
Yes.
you're in New York.
I was
Okay,
in
cool.
Texas last month.
Oh, wow. Okay, very good. Very good. Well, take care. It was great
You-
seeing